If we look down inside here, the bottom of this unit, see that dark ring of stuff? It's degraded. If I push on it, it falls apart. You can see some specks. I think that's why this is occasionally running, dripping through that seal. I have to take this unit off. To be able to take that unit off, I need to be able to take the whole back of the bowl out. To be able to take the back of the bowl out, I'm going to have to disconnect that hose and take the 3 nuts off the bottom, those bolts. And then there's a black washer system. And that black washer system underneath, and that seal, that rubber, or whatever it's made out of, it can turn very mushy, and actually it will rub off like a paint and get everything dirty. So I'm going to be very careful, wear gloves, and have a place to put that stuff. I won't know till I take it off if I need to replace the parts underneath, in which case I'll just buy, I'm not talking about this, just talking about this center thing in the bottom. I'll buy a new kit. It's as cheap as buying the seal and then the rubber seal underneath here separately. I have a couple work towels ready. I have one put down. It's going to drip. It always does. I'm going to get this tall, narrow container, and if I take this hose off, that amount of water is going to come out. Looks like it's about 2 inches. And it'll come out up until it reaches the top of the connector, and so there'll still be water in here until I take this out and turn the bowl sideways. I don't want to get underneath here and have all that fall on me. Now, that's not quote-unquote toilet water. This is just fresh water with some buildup residue, but your waste doesn't go in here. Fresh water comes in. You see down here, there's actually 2 nuts. This one holds the hose to the bottom of the fill valve in the toilet, and then so it connects the hose to the bottom of that long plastic, and then this one holds the whole unit to the bottom of the tank. So I have to take both of them off. And then come up here and pick it up. So I'm going to inspect this. Technically I didn't have to take this one off, but I need to drain this out because I don't know that I have to replace this. I just have to get the hose off to get the tank out. And put that down on a towel. I think that's still fairly new. I think we're still good to go. But I'm going to let the towels do all the catching. Now I need to go down, take these caps off. There we go, that'll fit better, 1/2 inch. And when I put it back together and get everything cleaned up, I'll give you some pictures underneath here what it looks like. So if you look in here, these heads are really degraded. There's hardly any horizontal line in the screwdriver, so I was able to get the nuts started on the bottom turning, and now I'm just going to take this socket off and reach underneath there and turn it with my hand, and that rubber sleeve is holding it just enough so I'm going to be able to get the nut off. I'm turning it down here. Okay, another one. Get the one in the back now. And that would have been very painful if that nut wouldn't come off and I couldn't stop this head from turning. I think the rubber sleeve is just enough to give it grip, and it doesn't look like there's been a lot of buildup on the bottom. Otherwise, if there was, it would be a sign of it leaking. But there's not a ton of stuff on here. A little bit. So don't have to worry about the nut being degraded. Okay, so now I'm going to lift this bowl and set it down over here on this towel. It's going to be my workspace for taking it apart and reassembling the bowl. Lift up. All right. Set it down. You can see a little bit of that discolored water in the corner. There's the bottom of the tank. You see that triangular flange gasket keeps the water leaking out of the top of the bowl, and make sure it goes down into this hole right here. The water goes in there and then it goes into your tank. So that's not toilet water, that's clean water, but it still discolors after a while. But 17 years, that's not bad right there. So let's look at the bottom. Let's see if we just turn this from the inside. Take this off. Okay, I've twisted this all the way over, so now it should hold this unit in place. It shouldn't slide. We'll try to put the teeth of the pliers right on the edge of this thick part. Well, there it goes. All right. No new tool required. Hopefully it goes on correctly. Okay, found a little secret. There's a hole inside here. It's where the water comes out. I'm going to put my fingers in there. It's too hard to grip from the other side. And try to get it off the rest of the way. Yay. That drain valve fell through. Let's pull these off. Yeah, see that sleeve that those bolts are in? I'm going to replace this whole kit. Too messy. All that black stuff, degraded. Okay, there's the workspace. There's the old pieces. I'm just going to replace all of it. Don't want to put it back in. That's got slimy. The threads on here are a little messed up. And on here. Of course, that's the original problem, is that seal went out. And I did buy a new one, but I'll take that back and buy a whole kit. Take it apart. Trusty wrench, screwdriver, and 1/2-inch socket set. Here's my internals. I believe they're still working. Cleaned up the tank. Now I'm ready to reassemble. One thing I'll note, the manufacturer information, Kohler, is there, but the serial number is not really readable. So it looks like the 3 toilets that are in this house that have a different looking serial number, the style and everything is the same. So I'm going to go with the kit that I have the number for. And on this piece, that looks like a 2-inch hole. It starts to fit in there correctly. This tank drainage system, the water to this toilet, it doesn't attach. The tank attaches through here, but that round 2-inch fitting is just sitting there, and it's protected from leaking by that rubber seal gasket. So I'm pretty sure when they sell it, it's this thing that's 2 inches that I'm going for. Hey, I ordered the Kohler 2-inch flush valve kit. Goes with the specific toilet, has all the parts in it. Let's take a look what's in here. Get the riser with the flap. Of course, we're going to take this part off. We're not using this. We have a canister instead. When you put this on, this big nut and this little white washer, they go underneath the bottom of the toilet. And then this goes up through the bottom. This will come up underneath the bottom frame of the bowl. These two are going to get screwed in here like that. These get plugged in, and then this will come down through the top of the tank, and this will get screwed on here. These will be poked in the holes in the frame, the bottom of the bowl, and those bolts and washers and nuts will be used. They'll come down in the inside of the tank like that, and then the washer and nut will be in the bottom. Yeah, so you can visualize it again on that piece of paper that I cut out. This will be the bottom of the tank, and then it'll go like that. Hopefully we can use this nut screw that I made. Let's see if it's going to fit. Ooh, looks like it's going to work. Turn that in there. We have two long straps and a short one. Short one goes here. Push that in. Push those in. Nice fit. Make sure they go all the way in. All right. Push this in. We'll hold it a little bit to get this started. Okay. See where we're aligned. Need to get that aligned back over here like that. Starting to snug up. This didn't move. Still good to go. I'm going to mark this. It's right here. That's where I want it to be, lined up with this one, in case it decides to turn. Okay, we'll get it started with the wrench. Keep the wrench by these corners, poke out. Now, I'm not squeezing. I'm just, when I get a grip, I'm just turning it. Okay, looks good. And the instructions say everything I did. Hand tighten the nut, then tighten an additional quarter turn. All right. Okay, let's put it on the tank. We want to get those holes to line up with the bottom of that triangular gasket. See him in there? You look on the bottom. See they protrude out a little bit. Okay, they don't, you can feel them on top of the hole. Once I put the nuts in here, it's going to sort of compress everything down and make a nice cushion seal. And I can see, on this one, I can see straight down through the ground, so that hole is lined up. So I'm going to push this in here. Should go right through the tank. Yep, it's out the bottom. I can feel it right there. Get them all lined up. Wiggle it around. I feel it coming through. Once we get one started, it'll start compressing. We'll do it just so it's on. Get them all on before we start tightening. Okay, got it started. The rubber's already gripping the bolt head inside. Turn that socket by hand. Got my hand in the top on the plastic nut head. I can feel it compressing rubber together. Okay, let's see. Instructions said loosely tighten and then go another quarter turn. Do not over tighten. So I think we're there. We're going to put this back in. Goes right about here. And tighten the bottom. This little plastic wing nut. Goes on really quickly. And this is the canister. You see the bottom sort of angle shape to match that angle down there. Since I took the flapper out, slides on top of here. I'll have to change that tie wrap, I think. And comes down in here. Just compresses into that hole, and then we'll tie it down with that tie wrap. These can be tricky to get on, but not a lot of space in here, but it slides on. And you push down, slide it on, locks in place. You want to take it off, you push that to take it off. Just enough room. Okay, and you see on here, there's a little spacer that you can turn to make this a tight fit. So you see there's a gap right down there. right here. If you put that big spot in the gap, then it's not compressing as much if you slide it this way. Put almost all of this inside of this little clamp-on holder, then you'll get a much tighter fit. And I'll put all of it on there because you can see there's a lot of open room here. So I might be able to use that tie wrap. I just grab it and tighten it up. There we go. And then they ship these with a black rubber gasket that goes on top here, but they degrade. We'll give one more tightening. There we go. All right, we're ready to test. Need to connect the water line, which is this guy. Connects to the bottom of this piece that we put in. See, it connects right to that, screws on. This gets clipped in here for water to go in. Comes out of this hole here. Let's turn the water on, see what happens. We don't want any water coming out of here. Around here, we know we didn't tighten those bolts enough. So it just stopped. Okay, don't see any links yet. Stain. And when this fills, you have water coming in the bottom of this and also shooting into here. When it comes in the bottom here, it's filling up this tank. When it shoots into here, it's filling up the bowl. Comet. Let's flush it again. Not seeing any leaks. The kit number is 85406.